This is going to be a quick description of a new module from PM Foundations called the Harmonic Transformer. This is a module for doing additive synthesis in what would be, I guess, the sort of classical definition of additive synthesis, literally adding sine waves together. The module consists of 11 PCBs, one for the mixer, and then 10 identical, basically synthesizers on a card to generate the sine waves. The master section contains a master tune, a mod range, so that's, well, we'll get into that in a minute. The CV in, gate in, and an audio out. Each one of these sine wave generators has a level that will go into a mixer here. It has a fine and coarse tune for the frequency, a frequency and a mod amount for the LFO, attack and release for the built-in envelope generator, and two buttons. One to turn the envelope controls on to actually use them, and the other is to turn on a sustained stage. The flashing lights, just to keep with the standard Eurorack conventions, are actually the LFO rate. So each one of these, right now, I have it tuned to the harmonic overtone series. I think I tuned it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, and 13, I think. But we'll see in a minute. So if you watch the scope, there is, let me turn on a little bit of a drone here. So that's a low E. What we're going to do now is I'm just going to look quickly at the overtones. So that's our fundamental, is that low E. You can see the sine wave. And you can also watch how the waveform changes, which is kind of neat. And suddenly you go from a very simple sine wave to more and more complexity. This is very different than your standard subtractive synthesis. Usually you would be given a waveform that already has the harmonics, and then you pass it through a filter to subtract the harmonics and get the timbre you want. But in this particular case, you're not doing that at all. You're actually adding in the harmonics. So there you can see them all. So let's take those down again. In the next video, I'm going to recreate a sound. This module is a lot of fun to play with. I've been wanting to do additive synthesis like this for a long time, but it takes a lot of modules. It takes a lot of cables. It's really just, it was too complex. I was too lazy. This, on the other hand, lets me just totally play around with it. So let's have a look at this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn off the drone. So right now we are running through an envelope generator, and we're running through a VCA. But we can also use the envelope generators that are built into the module. The reason there are envelope generators in the module is, for one thing, you can use the module as is and just shove it right into your mixer if you want. But the idea was that you should be able to have harmonics that come in and come out, that fade in and fade out. So let's say you wanted to have something like almost like a chiff, or like you might hear on an organ. So there you can hear come in and go back out. You could also use this to bring harmonics in gradually, out gradually, and then if we hit the sustain button on this last one here, then we get a sustain stage. There's no sustain level, just you get a sustain. Turn it off and no more sustain. Turn the envelope off, and we're back to just droning whatever we have. Again, you can see the harmonics. Without this movement, you run the risk of just ending up with organ sounds. I mean, a Hammond B3 with the drawbars is basically an additive synthesizer in a way, but it sounds like an organ because there's not a lot of movement behind each individual overtone or harmonic. What else can we show you on here really quickly? So that's the envelope generator, the built-in envelope generators. The other thing we have is we have an LFO on each one, so you can hear that. What's interesting in this case, let's turn down that 13, is, you know, we could put the envelope generator in for this and have those weird little spacey things fade out. So you can do all kinds of interesting little sounds on this. I've been fooling around with it for hours. I really like it. This would be the sort of thing that would be difficult to do with standard subtractive synthesis unless you had multiple oscillators. But here we have multiple oscillators. What else? Oh, yeah, the mod range. So the mod range in this case, what it's going to do is it's going to increase the frequency across the board on all the LFOs. So you can actually get the LFOs to start doing some audio rate frequency modulation. And again, the same thing applies. You can have the envelope generator and you only get that a little clang from the audio rate modulation. Just fading in and out, or you can leave it there. So maybe we should, let's turn that off for now. So now we're sort of back to normal, well, relatively. But this is a great module, lots of fun to play around with. And you can start also, great for experimenting. You can get a chance to hear what makes a sound, say, nasally, or what makes a sound, you know, hollow. So, you know, that's basically it. If we crank them all up and start fooling around with, just let it drone a bit. Get all our metal stuff going. You get some pretty complex bells going on. Or you can take that off and let them all go crazy. Yeah, okay. That's enough of that. So again, that's it. The harmonic transformer module from PM Foundations. Hope you'll give it a look at. If you're interested in knowing more about it, leave me a message in the video. And our next video we'll go into actually making a sound. What I'm going to do is use a frequency spectrum to try and duplicate it. And I think that covers it. Thanks very much for watching.